The NBA has decided to suspend game played following the conclusion of tonight's games.
Well, hello everybody. Steve the Amateur Historian here. I couldn't let the day go by without addressing recent events and drinking some kombucha while I'm at it, because you might as well feel healthy in an unhealthy time, or at least try to make yourself feel healthy. So, oh, it's kind of cinnamony. So we're coronavirus. I actually yesterday at work did a little or during my break at work I did a little recording that I was going to put on my channel, and now it's like 30 to 35 hours later, everything changes drastically, and it's probably going to continue to happen. Hey, honey. Yeah. But right now it's probably about 9:20 a.m. Thursday, March 12th, 2020. Last night they just put the NBA on indefinite. Well, the season is kind of indefinitely suspended. They don't know how long it's going to be. They found out Utah Jazz center Rudy Gobert had it, or has it. So, you know, it's a crazy situation, because it's like, okay, yeah, you got to check who Utah's played in the past, like, 2 weeks. Everybody that could have been remotely near Rudy Gobert needs to be tested. But then it's like, what if they find out somebody from another team they played got it? Then they got to test everybody that they played within 2 weeks, and next thing you know, every team potentially has been affected. So my attitude is, right now, is pretty much act like you have it. Especially when I'm out, you know. When I'm at home, it's fine, but when I'm at work, you know, I don't see any way that I could have gotten it yet, considering how few people even have it, and I haven't been near anybody, really, when I'm outside. I'm the closest I've gotten to potentially attracting any kind of germs or bugs or whatever is not even really at work. It's getting on the Max, because these Max trains shoot, you know, back and forth through the city. They, you know, carry all kinds of bugs around with them. Yeah, you have no chance at these. Like, I tried the best I could to avoid any direct contact. And when you try to get a bus pass, I mean, you gotta hit the buttons, which you can do with your gloves, but you gotta reach in. You gotta eventually reach in and just touch parts of the machine. I don't want to touch parts of these machines right now. It's another reason why I really want to try to avoid taking public transportation as much as humanly possible. Like, I don't want to touch anything here. My hope is there isn't going to be a lot of people in the Max. Yeah, it's coming now. See the red light on over there? It means it's coming. So literally, I'm just going to try to stand somewhere where nobody else is, so I hope there's not a lot of people on there. My place of work, and there's usually at least one vehicle in the lot over here. But yeah, I'm real interested to see how dead it's going to be today. So I'm on my first break from work, but we've officially started. There's 16 auditoriums in here, and all 16 have now officially started their first show of the day. 8 out of the 16 have people, so 8 don't. I'm actually surprised there's been as many people as there have. We've had 8 showings actually get people today, for a grand total of 23 people. I was also just told by one of our managers that Paramount's holding back some stuff. I guess they're going to delay the release of A Quiet Place 2. At first I thought it was because A Quiet Place deals with a lot of people dying, and people don't want to think about that right now, but I think it's mostly just because they think it's not going to do well if it's released. Something nice and soft. So, a little bit surprised. Like, not that they probably give a shit at all, but I was kind of surprised at Walmart. You know, I was expecting to see maybe a clearly identifiable hand sanitizer machine nearby, or like where you check out, they could have a little thing of hand sanitizer. And you gotta touch the touch screen, you gotta touch a bunch of stuff when you're self-checking out. They need to have at least little bottles of hand sanitizer. You just go pop, pop. Before and after. You should do this anyway. But now it's like, now everyone's thinking about it more. Whenever you buy a drink, especially something, you know, like a soda or a can of soda where you crack the top, wash the hell out of that can before you start drinking out of it. You don't know whose dirty hands have touched it. Anyway, yeah, I'm just doing everything I can to stay healthy and clean. Literally, my skin is just, well, I have eczema in a few spots too. It's just like the skin is already just dying. But yeah, with the number of times, I just worked a 7-hour shift. I probably washed my hands about 25 times. Use sanitizer at least 10, 12 times. So constantly trying to keep myself clean. Working a job that, you know, I mean, we probably did 50 people, at least in terms of the shows that started the workday up to the point and got out by the time I got off. So anything that started and ended before 5 p.m., which was, I think, 28 shows. 28 shows, 14 of them were empty, and only one of them did more than 4 people. It was Emma. There was about 6, 7 older ladies that showed up to see Emma. I gotta tell you, fearless. I heard that we've done like, what is it? South Korea's done like 700 times the number of tests we have. Like, we've tested less than 2,000 people, I think, in America. And South Korea has done almost 200,000 people. So, you know, unless someone is really not doing well, they just shuffle you off. It's like, if I get it, it's like, what's the point of even going and getting tested for it? I'm gonna go to the hospital, sit there and wait for 2 or 3 hours just to have them probably tell me to go home. Got people with no health insurance walking around. You know, if they get it, they're not going to get tested for it because they can't afford it. And, you know, a lot of people are just still aren't going to be in tune with what's going on, because there's millions of people out there that just, the outside world, the severity of what's going on in the world just doesn't click with them. So they'll start getting a cold and think, I'm getting a cold, and not do anything about it. You know, and this is, if people would, the moment this stuff starts happening, if people would take your health seriously, your cleanliness seriously to begin with, but, you know, kick it up a notch when there's serious shit going on. I mean, one benefit, because, you know, so many people are, you know, nervous and jacked up about this whole coronavirus thing. I bet when they take the statistics, there'll probably be a lot fewer people in like the months of like March and April, probably a lot fewer people getting like the flu and the cold than in previous years, because so many people are like paranoid and constantly washing their hands and stuff. So I mean, I guess that's one silver lining, but here we are. I guess, I mean, I kind of thought it would happen, but the March Madness they're just canceling it now. And the NBA, you know, because they're suspending their season. Depends on how bad the epidemic gets. If it goes on long enough, they're probably just going to have to cancel that too, because otherwise they'll just run into next season. I'm not the most sympathetic person in every case, but when it comes to sickness, illness, health stuff that can mess with your life, mess with the lives of your family, other people, this is what people need to start understanding. You know, when they say, you know, well, I don't want universal health care. People need to earn their health care. It's not fair that people just have it given to them when I had to work for it. It's like, you're talking about people's lives, man. And that's more important than your pissy little perspective of it. Or, oh, yeah, God forbid you be grateful that you have a job that's good enough that you can actually pay for your health insurance. You know, not everybody has that, and that doesn't make you a better person than them. It doesn't make your health more important than theirs. Period. The end of discussion. There's no discussion to be had on the matter. That's the truth. Everybody's life matters. Notice I didn't say all lives matter, because I am not even going to begin to jump into that alt-right horse shit. Just, I've already forgotten where I was going. I'm very tired. But just, with the current state, people need to care about their own health. They need to care about other people's health. Like, that's critical right now. Last thing we need is a bunch of young people saying, whatever, it's some viral infection. If I get it, whatever, I'll be fine. Yeah, but what if you give it to an elderly person? What if you give it to somebody with a poor immune system? My girlfriend's calling me. Probably. Yep. God, I hate how long it takes my phone to answer. Hello? Well, it's now Friday, March 13th. Friday the 13th. What a great time for that to befall us. And see what's happened since yesterday afternoon. I know all the Disney parks are going to be closed now by the end of the weekend. Initially it was just Disneyland, and I was like, you might as well close Disney World. There's more people there. You get sick going to Disney parks, well, amusement parks anyway. But aside from that, night before last, I know our governor, Kate Brown, who's a wacko, in my opinion. I think I may have said that yesterday. She said that, like, now she was, there was, like, a limit to how many people could gather in one place. And now, or last night, I know that they said, till further notice, I guess, all of the school districts, K through 12 in Oregon, they're closed at least till the end of the month. Which, I mean, if you're kids, you're like, woo! But it's also like, spring break was already going to happen in like a week or two. And, so, me and my girlfriend, who work together at a theater, which, of course, that's, a prime place to say, hey, you need to shut that down. It's a single place where lots of people tend to gather. Not yesterday, and probably not today. And we're feeling, again, unless things don't get as bad as they potentially can, we're thinking that, it may only be a matter of time. Well, again, if, federal government, state government, local governments say, like, all movie theaters have to close, that's one thing. But, like, just saying that, let's say that doesn't happen, it's going to take a lot for us to close our doors. We never, ever close our theaters for anything. There's been a lot of times when we should have. I mean, Onward just came out, Emma just came out. The Invisible Man, for some reason, is gaining more viewers. I mean, there's still stuff. But it's already the slow season. And it just got a little slower. About how a lot of office employees, which you're in an office, you're all crammed together. And she was talking about how there was a lot of, I think she was reading on, like, the local Reddit page or something, that a lot of office workers in Portland are like, we could totally do our work from home, and we've suggested that, but our bosses are always, they always have to be, lots of bosses get no work done themselves, but then they're always suspicious about their employees who actually are working hard. And so, like, they don't want to send their employees home to do their work at home, because then they can't lord over them, they can't stare at them, they can't make sure they're doing their job. So a lot of office workers are like, we could totally do this at home, in this time when, we're trying to I'll keep from getting sick, I'll keep from spreading this thing, and their bosses won't do it. And I'm like, in a scenario like that, where you're just being completely irresponsible, if people friggin' catch it and spread it around their workplace, legally, the people that run your business, those people that are making those foolish decisions, should be 100% held accountable for that. So this is what a Friday the 13th will bring you in Oregon. It ain't sticking. Well, I mean, it's sticking to me a little bit. But yeah, you know, in a state where we can only get one decent snowfall every like 4 or 5 years. It's Friday the 13th. Coronavirus is everywhere. And it's snowing. It's crazy. Walmart was fairly docile, but it is still Walmart, so, you know, wash the hell out of my hands before I touch my face again. Oh God, it's cold out here. I mean, it dipped, and I'm actually it's still, I mean, I haven't checked theaters yet, but I'm surprised at how many people I've seen here. How many older people I've seen here. How many older people I've seen rubbing their nose and sniffling. I've seen at least 5 of those. Oh, there's another person outside. I was about to say I'm outside, and I don't think anybody else is. It's really too bad, because it's supposed to be like 61, 62 degrees. It's supposed to be beautiful today, but damn. What are you doing out here, plane? You don't need to be out here. Yeah, it's still pretty quiet for a Monday. I think it's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:30. Definitely make my life easier if there's not a bunch of people outside. Then I won't have to dodge them. But yeah, I guess the recommendation in a span of a very short period of time went from, like, I know locally there were like no gatherings of more than 250 people. Then the Center for Disease Control, I think as of yesterday, we're saying, you know, don't do gatherings of more than 50 people. Now they're saying don't do gatherings of more than 10 people. And it's not representative of, we haven't really quite seen the spike yet, although, you know, so few people are getting tested. Nobody knows. Oh, there's an old guy over here. I'm gonna have to evade him. Okay, well, I'm having to evade people like crazy, as it turns out. Chick over there, I'm trying to, and of course the wind's blowing. So if there's some disease in front of me, it's blowing right into my face. Okay, so I was watching a video today, and I'm not putting 100% faith in this. This is just something that's going around, like coronavirus. So some doctors did a study in relation to the weather's possible correlation to how the coronavirus is spreading. Not that the weather's causing it, just how it might be affecting it. And they had one of those big maps, you know, the maps that measure, you know, the general warmth. You know, the south is always in red because it's always warmer there. The middle area is always in green, and then like way up in the Arctic and stuff, it's always blue because it's cold there. As they analyzed, you know, the map data, kind of showing the general weather patterns and the, you know, average warmth for February and March, you know, recent times, they found that a lot of places that are having big breakouts have been right where kind of the green and yellow line meet, kind of this moderate warmth zone. That area cuts right through Seattle. It's only missing Portland by about 150 miles. So we're right outside of it. Portland and kind of the state of Oregon, we're just kind of barely outside of it. I'm not touching that button. I'm just waiting for the light to change. But that general kind of area where the green and yellow meet, that's the southern part of South Korea. Goes through there. They've been hit big. That cuts right through China. It cuts right through Italy. And they were talking about other possible places that it's cutting through that might be having epidemics right now, and we just don't know. And these doctors feel like coronavirus is at its strongest in an area that's roughly like, they said 5 to 11 degrees Celsius, which is about 41 to 51 degrees. So you think Pacific Northwest, that's prime late winter, early spring weather. Now, It's supposed to be, it's already almost 60 degrees right now. It's supposed to be low 60s for the better part of the rest of the week. So if this stuff is accurate, hopefully that'll at least, to some minor degree, quell the virus. I mean, I'm up for anything. I'm surprised to see cars here, because it's Monday, March 16th. This is kind of the first official day that kids are off school. I don't know how well you can see him. He's kind of back there over my shoulder. There's this really kind of sketchy looking dude. I have a nose itch and I'm trying not to itch it. And like he's like wandering through the school. I mean, if I didn't know for a fact that the schools are closed right now, I'd be kind of like, eh? And he like walked right up to the door, and of course there's signs on the door that say like, yeah, school's closed. And he walked right up to the door and was just like, and then he looked kind of flustered and walked away. I'm like, why are you trying to get into the school? He looks really dirty, really grimy, just a sketchy vibe. But I mean, there's no kids there today, so if he had some bad intentions, they aren't going to come to fruition today. Hello, all. I just sanitized 11 bejesus out of it. Yeah, you did. This computer back here is pissing me off. Yeah, it's supposed to be low to mid 60s the next few days, so I'm checking because it's almost 3 o'clock, and the boss at work said they're gonna have some corporate, I guess, Skype meeting where they're all yeah, I saw the most recent emails are from work. I'm like, but it's from yesterday. They want to add during the week people whose specific job is just cleaning and sanitizing everything. Okay, so it's now 3:07. Apparently right now the governor of Oregon, because she kind of flip-flopped on whether she wanted to close restaurants and stuff. Apparently she's, because people were probably getting pissed, she's gone back on that and is now saying, like, you know, restaurants and places like that need to close. And now apparently they don't want any, they're making it to where you can't have any gathering places of more than 25 people. So, since I work at a place where even on the slowest days you have 10 people that just work there, still haven't heard anything from work, but I don't see how we'll legally even be able to stay open if they're saying you can't have more than 20. Now again, I feel like we've been kind of looming outside of the scope of things, like when they say only 250 people. Like, our largest auditorium only holds 163, I think, so it's like, is that technically one independent, like, all these different rooms are different gathering places, and then the lobby's its own gathering place, so I think we've been kind of evading things like that, because we have the capability of having over 250 people there. It's a movie theater with 16 screens, certainly that's a possibility, but yeah, I don't see how we're going to be able to stay open after this. Go upstairs and see what's up.
So a significant concern is that this displaces some of the at present necessary.
Why is this chick talking like a grandmother who's telling her grandkid that, like, her pet bird just died?
If she is the head of this shit, I'm frightened.
All of our hospitals have taken actions at this time to limit what we call elective care or elective surgical procedures. As we all know, there are urgent medical conditions of trauma that will always occur on a daily basis.
So once again, bitch, yes, it's what we lack.
Yeah.
How hard was that?
There was mention of standing up other places for beds, like your pop-up hospitals, I guess, or can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. Well, that is part of the effort that we
were speaking to today.
Every question they have to bring a new person up.
Right.
This is from Willamette Week. This was at noon. Well, they were just saying, although Oregon governor requests social distancing, they're talking about how the DMV offices have been drawing crowds, and until the governor closes non-essential public-facing offices, people will continue to call for
management at a regional and state level to support that.
Are there any plans currently?
Yeah, she even said it's a matter of life or death, yet we can't, you know.
Those are all planning underway right now. We know that we have the opportunity to do that. And
yeah, like California, Washington, it includes bars, restaurants, nightclubs, movie theaters, other facilities. But they're not being so, it's only restaurants and bars. Well, but then she says 25 or more. It's like, what qualifies? Because you could have...
Give us some clearance.
So that would mean tomorrow, I would think, you can't... I would think at the least at the movie theater more, you can't have more than 25 people in an auditorium. Okay. At the same time, though, we're going to lose so much money.
And how do you,
Well, then in the lobby, people are going to be in the lobby. So
I mean, granted, nothing has even come close to hitting 25 people in a given theater, but what if, you know, tomorrow's Tuesday, and people have been really freaking dumb about not coming to the theater.
Absolutely.
I could see Onward or Emma or something like that possibly getting that number.
Yeah. It looks like Oregon may have the fewest hospital beds per capita of any state in the country, 1.6. I'm interested in how maybe we got there. I mean, do you have any sense of why we would be the lowest in terms of hospital beds?
By doing a good job of providing access to primary care so that people don't require hospitalization and we're able to save costs in the healthcare system.
Ooh, slick, nice answer, you scumbag.
On an issue like that, and I did mention earlier that
I got that on video, you prick.
Sorry, Corin.
Oh, Kate Brown. I hope I got that. She just knocked one of the microphones down. And then she's like,
now she's like,
oh, where's that smile?
So embarrassed. She's so embarrassed.
Oh, man.
She's embarrassed. Oh, how embarrassing. Look at her.
Does that mean public schools will now be closed for 4 weeks?
We are evaluating our... thank you, sorry. Public gatherings over 25 are going to be canceled for the next 4 weeks. The question is, does that include schools as well? We're reevaluating our school policy. We will be announcing further decisions in the next couple of days.
Yeah, let's close restaurants, but not schools where kids are getting sick all the time this time of the year anyway.
And then one more, if you could clarify what specific new task forces or plan activations began today?
I believe most of the actions from the Emergency Command Center to the Economic Recovery Advisory Task Force had been set up earlier. I'm not aware of anything other than the specific directives that happened exactly today.
What kind of a boggle-minded answer was that? Politician, I don't even know what you said. Well, there's our state government, people. As we linger in Oregon, which things perceivably at this time haven't gotten too bad yet compared to what they could be, but we're right directly frickin' south of Washington where, like, the worst outbreak has occurred. I'm checking my... because I was already expecting an email from work. I'm checking my email the way most people have been checking for coronavirus updates for the past week. Exciting times. Update 3:51. My girlfriend just called me. She just got dropped off at work at the theater. I guess all of this stuff that's happening that they're saying, you know, limiting crowds, closing certain places, starts effective tomorrow. I feel like... I mean, I understand why it would have to be that way, but I feel like businesses should still be like, the moment that happens, they should be like, bitches, we're closing early. Regal Theaters just announced that they're closing all their theaters, effective tomorrow. So, I get the feeling we'll be following suit fairly soon, and she's just now getting to work, so I'm wondering what people are thinking, what's going on there. I'm not there, so I can't know. I just keep refreshing
that old email. Still nothing from my workplace. They're probably still... I mean, probably right now, especially now that Regal's dropped. They're probably really just... What do we do? We gotta figure this out. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? They probably still don't know what the hell they're gonna do yet, so they're probably not gonna send anything out till they know for certain, but... I'm sitting here with bated breath. Almost 6 o'clock and nothing. Still.
Yeah, I'm looking up, still nothing from, like, AMC or anything, but yeah, it's just, I feel like it's a matter of time with Regal closing. There's no way Regal's gonna be the only one that's closed.
Yeah.
That just doesn't, so anyway, it's just kind of a matter of time. Also, interestingly enough, NBC Universal started releasing movies that are in theaters right now on like streaming services, like Emma, The Hunt. What else do they own? They're gonna stream Trolls on its technically release day.
Well, I mean, it probably wasn't gonna do that good anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's kind of an interesting tidbit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's so funny when you go in Cinemark and like AMC's movie things, they're just acting like nothing's different. They're like, hey, come see Bloodshot this weekend.
Come on down.
And everyone in the comments is like, hell no, I'm not seeing Bloodshot.
I was gonna say, I could see us just shutting down, and as we're like locking the doors, people are showing up like, hey, what are you doing? I came to see a movie.
No, do you know what's been really weird? Apparently people keep coming in and like asking if we're open or something, then leaving, or like they saw someone like on their bike try the door and be like like outside and then walk. It's like people that are randomly in the area are just opening doors
just curious.
Freaking open. And then also big thing, because I didn't even think about this, tomorrow we're not doing the bar anymore. Because technically Kate Brown called for, all bars to close, and we are technically, we have a license for that.
Yeah, I guess. It makes sense.
I know. So yeah, we apparently, I hope no one will, all take it for, but it seems like everyone's going to divide up, because we basically, anything that's going to expire in a month or less, we get to, quote unquote, throw away, so... Hopefully I get to take a few beers home. It's a matter of time. It's telling you it's going to be AMC next, probably.
Yeah, and then we're going to have to just suck it up and take a dive with the rest of them.
Yeah. I cannot imagine them closing all the Regal theaters only for Cinemark to AMC. That just, no way that's going to happen.
Yeah.
That would be shocking. That's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. And if they don't close, the next step is they're probably gonna be, the next thing the state's gonna say is, well, now all theaters also need to close. Like, we should have included that in the first place when we start talking about restaurants and bars and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
We forgot about the theaters. Jeez.
Okay, I gotta go, but yeah,
okay.
That's kind of the update. Stuff is gonna happen very soon. If not tonight, tomorrow. Stuff is gonna start happening.
Yeah.
Alright, okay, I love you.
Love you too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'm still only like 50-50. I'm even gonna be working tomorrow. I work at 2 p.m. tomorrow. So, yeah, my camera died because I ran out of space on my phone, so I had to clear up some space. But essentially what my girlfriend said during like the minute or so my camera wasn't on was that apparently we're not closing, but closing the bar part of the stand, because technically bars are supposed to be closed. So it's, one of those legal things, even though we're a movie theater, not a bar. Just have a little bar within it. But yeah, apparently they had their meeting, and we're staying open for now, but I mean, for how long? How long before you start seeming before it starts seeming pretty damn irresponsible? You know what I mean? So in all honesty, because obviously we're all stressed to some degree or another, and I really think we should close. Like, right now is the time to just close everything. Don't do it in, if you close now, maybe stuff can open back up in a couple of weeks. But if you keep holding out, thinking things aren't that bad, a couple of weeks is going to turn into a couple of months. That's what happens when you keep giving people, stupid people, incentive to go out. You close all the cool places for people to go out. Guess what? They're not going to go out. They're not going to gather as much. And it's just frustrating because I feel like the place I work at needs to close.